Hey Anusha, congratulations to you on your graduation. So happy to see you here after a year of spending time taking proactive steps towards yourself. How does it feel, Anusha?
Uh, I feel really good. I have learned how to prioritize myself. I think that's one big uh, and to be able to say no to, right? I think I was always able to say no, but I always felt guilty but yeah, I've learned how to prioritize myself. So
Wow,
yeah, I'm
that
so
is
excited.
that's so big, Anusha. Thank you so much. And if you can share, take a couple of minutes to share about yourself, your family. What do you do?
Yeah, so I work at Amazon Web Services. I lead their strategy in partner strategy team. I have two daughters, 10 and 15, and we are here in Seattle. And my husband works for Microsoft, so yeah, we are in Seattle, and so I'm a busy mom with a busy job, and then yeah, so uh, there's a lot of activities my children do. Uh, I've been their science coach for their science Olympiad teams. I have now a high schooler. My kids do a lot of activities like taekwondo. They learn Bharatanatyam, music. So chauffeuring them all everywhere is like my full-time job, actually, right? And then cooking for them, cleaning the house, making sure things are fine. And then I have a full-time job, which is like going to Amazon. So it's a busy life. Sorry, it's a busy life here.
Yeah, wow. I totally hear you, Anisha. I mean, I lived in the US and it's not an easy job at all. We think we have it easy in India, but it's a very, very difficult life, especially when kids are in the teen years. You want to be around for them as well as hold on to your career. And also, and after school activities is really big in the US, like a lot of those classes, Kumon classes, I remember my kids used to take that, right? And,
So
the typical Desi American kind of lifestyle is not easy at all. So, Anusha, can you tell me what was going on for you as challenges before you worked with me in terms of your lifestyle?
I think the biggest challenge is I could not control my emotions, my stress. Um, I've gained weight because of stress eating, and I would get mad at something else and show it on eating instead of showing it something externally. It was more inward, which made outward weight, right? Weight gains for me. Um, so I feel coming to you, though that was not the goal, but I'm being able to regulate my stress, talk myself out from stress eating. Um, I'm much more a calmer person now. Like at work, I'm a very calm person. At home too, I'm calm, but I'm more calm inside me, myself, in my inner space as well. I think that's one of the big things which I did not come for, but that was one of the outcomes, uh, which is helping me a lot. And I want to continue to grow that muscle.
Hmm. So
Yeah.
one of the big challenges was stress eating, right? Stress eating and
Yes.
emotional eating, that is something, one of your biggest challenges. And you were surprised actually during the course of the journey how you've been able to handle that. You did not expect that as an outcome, right? Um, so
Correct.
what other challenges were going on for you, Anusha, in terms of your lifestyle?
Uh, I think the things with lifestyle is I could solve any problems at work, at home, as long it was not my inner problem. I could solve anything, but I did not have the confidence to solve my own weight loss problem. Right? I did not have the confidence that I would not move. Like I won't like. I think the biggest mind block I had is I can't, I will never lose weight. I cannot lose weight because I don't have, I'll not stick to things, right? Like that was like my biggest challenge. So that confidence, that gaining that confidence has been life changing. Like I've stuck to many things, through our journey, like de-stressing activity, like talking myself through situations of not eating compulsively, uh, you know, um, making lifestyle choices on my food habits, right? It's been 5 months since I'm vegan. So no milk, no cakes, no pastries, whatever, like no Mysore, not Mysore Pak, Badusha. No, none of them, right? Like I like all of them, but no gulab jamun. So yeah, or murku, any of those. I really like salty snacks, but none of those because they all have butter when you make tinkural or whatever you make, right? So yeah, and I was able to do it, and I was able to stick to it, right? I feel very confident of that aspect, that yeah, I can actually do it. So that's like the aha moment. Yes, you can. For the last 10 months, I'm doing at least, yeah, 10 months. I have been doing a de-stressing activity every day, all 7 days of a week, which is big because
That's
I would not do
simply big.
anything more than, yeah, because I would not do anything more than 2 or 3 days. Like I can't even stick to a diet for more than 3, 4 days. So leave alone anything else.
So that was the big narrative that you were dealing with, right? I am an inconsistent person. I cannot stick with
Correct.
anything, right? That was one of
Correct.
your challenges. So a
Yes.
big portion of your challenges was in the mindset and the beliefs that you
Correct.
carried, right?
Yeah.
Second thing was not taking care of yourself, not prioritizing your needs, right? Always work. I know you used to put in a lot of effort towards your work and your family, and somewhere your priorities got lost in that mix, right? So that was one of the challenges as well. So
Right.
what prompted you to take this decision after going through these for so many years to come up with the decision to work with a coach? What really was the trigger, Anusha?
Uh, I knew I needed help. I did not know what help I needed. Right. And when I spoke to my mom suggested you because Purnima auntie had come to you. So I came back and spoke to my husband about it. He's like, yeah, you need help. I can't be the help for you. So go get your help. And so that's how we started, right? Like, and honestly, I didn't know what a life coach did. For the longest time, I thought it was like those, motivation speakers. And who I read, I am guilty of reading motivational books. It feels good, so I do read it. It makes me feel happy. But I was like, yeah, but what can they do? They don't even know. Yeah, you can do it. You can. But it was different. It was actually, I liked your program with the, I like the 2 week sprint. Like, from a project management, if I have to think, like, it's a 2 week sprint, right? So, okay, in these 2 weeks, do this. There are times when I did not do it, but I guess it was okay. So yeah, so I think, yeah, that I still have my first affirmation, which I read right in front of me because I have the book with me. It basically was full of like, I can be perseverant. I can be, I will not give up to my emotions. I will eat. I will be very conscious on what I eat. I will eat when I'm hungry, not when I'm emotional, and I can do it. I can do it because that it's like I've written, I can do it. I can do it for so many times because that was the level of my confidence. I had to keep saying, "You can do it, Anusha. You can do it." But but without this belief, right? I have like for weeks I've written like I can do it. I can do it because it was like weeks of disbelief on
Ah.
myself.
So somewhere you had to create that shift within you to make those actions more sustainable, right? Um, is that right, Anusha?
Correct. I had to. This program helped me show to myself that if I want, I can actually do it. it is not hard. That's what it has made me realize, right? Like now it's,
Wow.
yeah.
That is a big change from a space where you were in before in terms of disbelief and diffidence to now feeling
Correct.
confident and having that belief in yourself that anything is possible if you put your mind to it, right?
I feel like anything with my weight loss, because I can, outside it's not my weight loss. I do have that outlook. When it comes to my inner me, I
Ah,
did not have that
so the
confidence, right?
strengths that you had within you were somewhere disconnected from your personal goals, right? So now
Correct.
that is kind of
Exactly.
come full circle. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Anusha. So somewhere you thought a coach was supposed to be someone who's a motivator, and you were taken aback from how this approach was so different from the thought that you had in your head,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
In what other ways was it different for you, Anusha, this journey?
Uh, I guess, getting affirmation from you was helpful. Like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I feel like getting affirmation from you, being able to brainstorm with you, that was helpful, I think, right? Brain, what else can I do? I don't know. I'm lost here. I had a friend whom I could tell them like, okay, I don't know what to do here. Yeah, because you would ask me all the time, okay, how are you going to problem solve it? Sometimes I would be get annoyed, which I'd be like, okay, I don't know. You tell me how what I should do. What do your other clients do? I don't know. That's why I'm here. I've also told you those things, right? Like, what do your other clients? Because yeah, but basically, I think what you like, your observation is absolutely right. Like there was a disconnect of Anusha at work and Anusha at her inner self, right? Um, you were like basically problem solve yourself. Next week you're not going to you're going to be traveling. What are you going to do about your diet? I think about it for my husband, for my family, right? When
Mm.
we're going on trip, who's going to eat what? They have this restriction. When I'm at work, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a big tomorrow. Next week everyone's going to go down. So productivity is going to, get reduced. What do we do? So that solving mindset, which was at work, you have brought that into my inner self. Like when I was telling this to my husband, it's like, you do that at work, you do that with the family. Why don't you do that to yourself? Right? Like that was my another aha moment. Yeah, I don't do that for myself. Right. So I think I feel like the connection, what it has made me realize is moving forward, what I do at work, I need to build connections with my inner self. Right. That's is missing. You have created like a bridge. I now need to make a concrete road that's
Nice.
connected.
Your analogies are always on point, Anusha. I absolutely love them. So the coaching conversations basically created a platform and space for you to think and reflect for yourself, right, Anusha?
Yes.
Super. So let's talk about some of the narratives and beliefs that you were caught in that were posing a challenge in terms of creating that action for yourself, Anusha. Can you share some examples of what was going on in your head?
I have only one thing which was going on in my head. I cannot do this. I'm not going to there's no help for me. There's nothing that I can do or not do. So like basically I had this belief, as I said, right? I have the belief that tomorrow I want to become this VP at work or a CEO, whatever, right? I have big dreams for my, but when it comes to my inner self, I do not have that confidence that Anusha, if you can solve that, your weight loss problem is even smaller. It's a small thing. You made me realize that I did not have that belief. You made me realize that, oh, this is actually a small problem. It's not a big problem.
Wow. Okay. So the shift in your mindset and your beliefs you notice is basically around confidence and that you are a consistent person now. Is that right, Anusha?
Correct.
And
Yes.
how do you think that happened? What skills really help you?
So I think doing the 5-minute action really helped me. right? And then doing the 5 minute action, the affirmations, these two things, I have taken it so lightly, right? It really helps. I actually have a pack of cards which has affirmations. I read them every day.
Ah,
These are not affirmations that, like, these are like positive enforcements. I got this from one of my motivational this thing when I was searching. I look at Pinterest. I go to
mm,
Pinterest and look for motivational thoughts. These are so underrated and people make fun of it. I have made fun of it myself. They are actually work. So I feel these two things have really, really like if I was any day down and was in desperation, and the third thing is journaling, right? It really helped me. Maybe because I'm a visual person, writing reinforces things.
mm.
So these three things I would say really, 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 really help me believe in myself. So yeah, these are like three underrated things. But yeah, the positive emphasis, like every now and then I have a new information for myself, which I read every day. I read it loud, I write it, just to make myself believe that.
You're really spot on, Anusha. I mean, there is so much science, to prove that your actions stem from your thoughts and beliefs. So, in order for actions to be very consistent and in congruence with the goals that you're seeking, we need to work at the base of it, which is the thoughts and the beliefs. So that is why we always start off with the 5 minute action of affirmations to first start helping you think in that direction that you are capable, you can make this happen, right? And also the approach of breaking down any big goal into small chunks is what helped you build that confidence. Is that right, Anusha?
Correct.
It
Correct.
felt doable,
Yeah.
it felt easy, I can actually do it. And as you showed up for those 5 minute actions, it created that confidence and momentum to keep scaling up, right?
Correct.
I
Correct.
remember one of the first things that we took on, given that you wanted to really take care of that stress eating and emotional eating, was de-stress actively. How did that really help you, Anusha?
I feel like I do that even today, and I do that at least some de-stress activity 7 days a week. I either go for a walk in the really, really cold, like uh, cold. For example, last whole winter, I have walked since last October till like recently till March. Right, I walked at least 4 to 5 times a day for a week in the cold in minus degrees too. Right, I walk even now. Like I was telling my husband, like the fresh air, the chill air does wonders to me. So I feel like that some de-stress activity is a must now in my lifestyle. As this lifestyle change,
Wow.
I feel it's a part of my lifestyle now to do some de-stress activity. And now I feel like over time I've also learned, like, okay, you're stressed, you want to eat it. How about you do some coloring or painting or writing or seeing affirmations for 5 minutes, and then and most often that urge, that anger, that restlessness, yes, is controllable. I won't say it goes away, right?
Mm,
Depending upon the issue,
mm.
but it really helps. And at least be like, okay, make mindful choices versus mindless choices.
So it was a combination of several skills, right? One was reading the affirmations to reaffirm to yourself that this is who you want to become,
Correct.
working on the identity that you hold about yourself. Second thing was the skill of pausing, Anusha, right? I think that is something that we started at get go to help you focus on your self talk, your narratives, what is getting in the way of action, and also to notice your thoughts and emotions, what triggers are in your environment that is making you eat, right? To get at the root of that eating behavior. The third important thing was to de stress actively. So, can you give me an example? Minus these skills, where were you, and today, where are you?
I think minus those skills, I would eat mindlessly, and I would so-called eat healthy things, and like I would eat a cup of almonds. A cup of almonds are healthy, but a cup of almonds are not healthy, right? I don't even remember last time when I ate any nuts, right? If I eat nuts, I would only eat 3 pieces, right? That was never the case. I don't think, it's been a long time since I actually had an mindless ice cream or a mindless cake or anything. I think it's been at least 3-4 months now since any of those mindless eatings have triggered in. So uh, that is after this, right? Before that, if I get angry, even if my husband is trying to talk me in, it will just be, it's a buzzing noise. It's a ting noise. I don't even listen to him because I'm clearly focused on what I want to do now. Right now, when he says like, okay, fine, I'll sit down for 2 minutes, I listen. Earlier, if I would be in a rage, like emotional rage, that's all almost, I don't know if it's gone, but I will definitely tell you it's like 95% down for sure.
Wow. Kudos to you, Anusha. Not
Yeah.
easy at all. I remember the space you were in. This is huge progress. And most importantly, what you've been able to share is you've been able to delay the gratification. Once you apply the pause and read what is going on and
Yes.
pick and choose from your stress toolkit, the de-stressing toolkit, you're able to pick and choose the activities at that point in time to help you. And that kind of
Correct.
delays the urge a little bit. After that, the outcome is totally going to be mindful because you've delayed. You're going to choose whether you want to eat or not eat. That's absolutely okay. But the point is you're being able to delay it, right?
Correct.
Second important thing is you're being able to regulate your emotions. It's not a rage anymore. It's come down a whole lot. You're able to sit with the discomfort of what is going on and really listen to the other person, right?
Correct.
So can you tell me how that has impacted your relationships with people around you, Anusha?
Uh, as I said, I'm much more calmer. So that has really helped, right? Um, Even if I get angry, just within my family, right? I don't know, if something my husband says annoys me, even if I'm raged to eat it, he can talk me out. Earlier, until I put something in my mouth, and I didn't know how to calm myself down. Now is not the case. Eating is my last resort of calming myself down, which is a big deal for me.
I've got to write this down. This is like the big thing, Anusha. Eating is the
Yes.
last thing on my mind now. Wow. Right?
Yeah.
What
It
big
comes
change
like,
that is.
I think, no, not lasting on my mind. It does come, I should admit.
Okay.
It does come, but it is the last resort to calm myself down. I have a lot of different things, and I don't have to get to that end, right? I do
Ah.
not get to that end. Yeah.
So
I won't,
eating to calm yourself or to de-stress is absolutely okay, but you're saying it's the last on the list. I have many
yeah.
other things that I
Correct.
can go to calm me before I get to food, right?
Correct. Like go for a
Super.
walk, get out of the house, just go for a walk. um, Go upstairs, take a hot shower, or go upstairs, start journaling, maybe start painting, right? There's so many things before I get to that. And one of these things definitely work. And going to the uh, uh, this thing, going for a walk always works.
Hmm.
Yeah.
This itself is huge progress, Anusha, given that you struggled a lot with binge eating, emotional eating, stress eating, and the bite, licks, and taste. We talked about that
Yes.
also in the beginning of the program, and that came down to a large extent from practicing that pause, right? So today you're a very, very different person, and your relationship with food has changed a whole lot, right?
Correct.
So can we talk about that, Anusha? How is your relationship with food right now?
Uh, I I feel it's become better. It is not where I want it to be, but it has become better where I don't see food as my comfort place. Uh, I do see food as its own entity. I do like to eat, but I don't look at it as a calming element,
Mm.
right? I see this as a need, and like, you need food to survive, but at the same time you don't need food to calm myself down. So I see that distinction. um what else? I also see, I like to enjoy eating. I enjoy eating. So I have realized that, right? And so uh in the last few sessions, what we have done is, how do I sit down, focus in my food, so I enjoy my meal than hurrying, and so that has also helped me relish the food I'm eating. So yeah, I think that's the difference, like identifying that I like to eat. So don't eat minus the, be watchful, mindful of what you're eating so you can enjoy it. Not that you're controlling portion, but enjoy it. And not looking at food as a necessity element to calm my emotions and to stay happy, right? They are like to stay calm, not happy, to stay calm. So yeah, I feel that's the big shift for me.
That's really big. So you're no longer seeing food as something that always gives you comfort, right?
Correct.
You're okay eating food because you understand that you enjoy eating food, but not necessarily to numb your emotions all the time. You have other things
Correct.
to focus on. So that is a big shift that you see with respect to your relationship with food. And also, I want to ask you, Anusha, during the course of the last 1 year, um, how do you feel in terms of being able to choose the foods that you like and not coming from a space of deprivation or starvation? How is that going for you?
Actually, I feel good because that's where my confidence also comes, right? Like I can eat everything, but at the same time I can stay happy without guilt, without this. So I feel like the guilt and everything is a little less. So yeah.
I mean, that used to be big, Anusha. I remember earlier conversations, right, where you would eat something and you would feel very guilty and you'd feel
I
ashamed.
think
And
I think that again, that it comes from that underlining thing of that. I looked at food to comfort myself. I did not look at food as, oh, I like to eat food. It was more of a comforting thing, right? Because I would get upset. I would eat whatever comes my way, how much ever I want. And that's what will make me feel guilty. It like if I go to a party and then I'm always thinking about weight loss, weight loss, weight loss, which because I'm like, oh, I'm not going to do it. So anything I put in my mouth would make me feel guilty, right? So guilt is two ways. But now I feel like, yeah, I can eat it, but I know I can work towards it. That confidence is there. And I don't look at food as something. So I think it all comes from the same thing that I'm always, I, because of my stress eating, my relationship with food was all messed up, right? As soon as that relationship got untangled, I was able to see for what it is.
So the skills that we brought in to help you de-stress helped you kind of take a step back and look at food in a different way, right?
Correct.
So when you look at food now, Anusha, I'm curious, what is your narrative today?
Uh, like food is a necessity, and if you want to eat, if you and there's nothing wrong eating what you like, just eat in moderation. Like I knew this, right? I knew this, but I could not practice this. I did not practice this because of my emotional stress eating. Now I'm practicing it.
Wow. So this program actually helped bridge that knowledge and action, right?
Correct.
We all know
Correct.
so many things, but we rarely do all of those, right? So this
Exactly.
basically helped you build those skills as part of your life, right, Anusha?
Correct. Correct.
Let's talk about the mindful eating techniques that we focused on. How useful were those for you?
I feel the mindful eating uh, the tricks like eating with a small spoon, eating, pausing and eating, they help those pauses, right? And also like taking smaller servings and putting the flavor, like take multiple servings but take small servings. So that way I felt I could eat how much I want, whatever I want. I could go and take 10 servings. But, you know, I could talk myself, do you really need this? So that pause helps you to self-talk. Taking a smaller spoon delays you eating slowly, right? Focusing on your food, counting. I didn't have a timer, but I would count in my head. Okay, I'll eat, I'll drink water, I'll count 20 in my head, and then take. So between those bites, again, I get full very quickly these days. I'm noticing that, and maybe that's why, because I am a slow eater now, become even more slower eater.
Nice.
So which is good.
So these are all small, small skills that were built over time, right? I mean, we didn't take
Correct.
all of these at the same time. We let you choose what you are comfortable doing, and we helped you practice for a couple of weeks before taking on another skill. So, did
Correct.
you feel it seamlessly kind of blended in with your lifestyle, Anusha, or was it difficult?
I think the first few weeks, like, I think whenever we took on a new thing, I was skeptical because I had this thing saying that I won't do it. And to be honest, I did some, I did not do some really well, you know that. Uh, but yeah, I think overall, I don't know if it was challenging because you helped me get the confidence, but there were times when I would be harsh with myself and you would have to tell me, and it's okay. And I feel like soon the narration also changed within me that I only did 6, but I'm okay with it. I'll do it. And I think that being kind to myself is an important skill set which I learned from her, right? Like, just be kind to yourself, because unless you're kind, because that also used to add me stress and I would eat again. So it's like
Yeah.
it's a cycle, right? So yeah, I've learned to be kind with myself.
I
So yeah.
absolutely want to talk about that, Anusha, because over the last 1 year, our conversations also changed so much, right? The initial conversations used to be, hey, you know what? It used to come from that perfectionist mindset. I'm not doing it perfectly. I've not done anything. But then when we start digging,
Okay.
so yeah, so the initial conversations, I could see that it came from the narrative of I'm a perfectionist. I just cannot, I have to do everything right and perfectly. And if you did not do it, you were very self-critical, self-judgmental, right? I mean,
I,
that used to be the
no,
space.
I would change that. I don't think I'm a perfectionist. I think it would be like if I did not do this, it was like this mattatafying, right? Unnala mudiyadhu. You are
Ah,
useless. It came from that versus the perfection, right? It was so easy for me to put my hands, yeah, I'm useless. Yeah,
mm.
enalam mudiyadhu. So it's more about not believing in myself and saying, coming from that narration, see, you didn't do it. I told you, you will not do it.
Ah.
See, I'm right.
So every
Right?
time an action didn't happen, it kind of just reaffirmed that narrative in your head that, hey, Anusha, you can never do anything well, right? Was that right?
Correct. Correct. It was more like yeah, exactly. So it was more of a reaffirmation of my negative narration versus that, just be kind to yourself. It's okay, panna na panna, big deal, right? I think being kind to myself was an important skill set I learned through this whole exercise.
So I mean that didn't come easy, Anusha. I can tell
Oh,
you,
yeah.
right? I mean, it's not an easy skill to learn at all. It took quite a while, and and after a while, I could see that change, right? You would come in
Correct.
to the conversation and say, "Hey, Srividya, I didn't do this, but look, here is what I accomplished." Right? I could see
Yes.
that shift happening. That you were
Yes.
patting yourselves on the back and said, hey, I had a tough week, but look at what I accomplished. How did that shift
Correct.
happen, Anusha? I mean, I'm just curious. What helped you make that shift?
I don't know. I don't know how to articulate that. You know what that shift. I think you were very motivational and inspirational to help me be kind with myself, because many times I would come to you and tell you these are the things I didn't do. And you'll be like, okay, fine, but what? Tell me other things, tell me positive news. And you'd always show me in the beginning that, see, you did all this. That isn't that an achievement? So over time, before I would come and tell you that, like, I didn't do these things, I'm like, okay, she's going to push me on what things I did. So I would think, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I did all these things. I should be happy with myself, right? So you pushing me week after week on that also made me, like, before I would come to you, I'm like, yeah, you didn't do all this correct, but Srivida is not going to ask you this. She's going to ask you what you did. So what the hell did you do? And then I'll have a big list. So it will make me feel like, yeah, so that really
Nice.
helped being kind to myself.
So you started preparing even before the call happened about the things that you
Correct.
actually
Oh,
accomplished,
yes,
right?
yes, yes,
Nice.
yes.
Okay. Great. I mean, so let's talk about noticing triggers, Anusha. I mean, we practice the skill of digging behind the surface of that behavior and understanding the triggers. What is really going on in your environment that is causing you to do a certain eating behavior? How did you feel about that? What shifts did you notice?
I think, as I had mentioned to you, right, like, for me, I think calming myself down, having a de-stress activity, that really has helped me shape my, I don't know what in my environment, like, I don't think I made any specific environmental changes, right? I have kids, so candies are going to be in my house. I have children, so they are going to have, they're going to eat, there's going to be all. So there are two things I think what I made. One is calming myself down. And second, becoming vegan really has helped me to shape my environment right now. Because I'm not saying I can't eat anything. Like, my cousin came from India and he's like, I'm vegan, weight loss panna mudiyadhu. I said, you're absolutely right, but I'm delaying my gratification. I don't eat anything which is in my house, but in my head, I can eat everything which is vegan. Right? It's
Mm.
just like I'm a vegetarian. I can eat everything a vegetarian except meat. So same thing, I can eat everything vegan. So, and there's nothing vegan in my house.
So
Everything
you
has,
eliminated the choices.
correct. Like, the choices are there in the store.
Mm.
I mean, and what I've realized is even when I make things which are vegan, my family wants to eat only that. So it becomes everyone's food then, right? So I think becoming vegan has helped me even at work to say no to a lot of things. Like, oh, I'm vegan, so I can't. They'll put a big cake in front of me. They're like, Anusha, what's there? Just have a piece. And I'm like, I'm vegan. They'll get chocolates, and I'm like, oh, they're like, chocolates is fine, right? I'm like, no, it's just milk, so I'm vegan. So it's very easy for me to say no now. Earlier, for some reason, I could have still said no. For whatever reason, I felt shy, awkward. I don't know. I still don't know why. But
Mm.
now I feel very confident to say no. And this is why I can't eat. So I have this very clear reasoning, and people don't force me. The way people don't force me to eat meat, they don't force me to eat this thing.
Nice. So shifting your identity to being vegan has really helped you kind of stay the course, in terms of your goals. Second important thing is, I would say, before you became vegan, Anusha, I think the skill of pausing that you practiced so well has helped you learn so much about yourself, right? What
Correct.
what triggers you to eat a certain thing, and applying the brakes, not impulsively eating, but applying the brakes and actually delaying the gratification. These are some important, crucial skills that you can carry for the rest of your life, right?
Agree.
So let's talk about sleep, Anusha. That was really big. What skills did you learn during the program that really helped you?
So in between of the program, I realized that sleep was one of the reasons. When I'm very sleep deprived, I'm very tired next day. And then I'm like, oh, to make myself feel better, I end up eating that. Oh, I need energy, so I need to eat. So I end up eating much more than I should be eating. So now So fixing my sleep. So I'm usually in bed by 8:30, 8:45. I get up at 4:35, whatever in the morning, but I don't care what time I sleep, but I'm in bed, closing my eyes, trying to sleep. Maybe I sleep at 10:30 some days, but by 8:30, 8:45, I'm in bed. So, and having a predictable sleep cycle, even on weekends. So even on weekends, I'm not awake because sleep, that itself has helped me reduce a lot of my stress eating, right? And my mindless eating, whatever you want to call it. So sleep, yeah, sleep has really, really helped me.
Yeah, I can't stress the importance of sleep, especially for weight loss and for better health, right? I mean, when you're sleep deprived, your stress hormones go up, right? You're bloated, you start retaining water. The other important thing is you're not able to make better choices through the day because you have a fogged brain. You know, you're very sleep deprived and not able to be very clear with what you want for yourself. And also, your hunger fullness hormones go off whack, which means that you feel hunger at odd times. You're constantly craving to eat something, for energy, like you rightly pointed out. So, from working on your sleep, how do you think the choices the next day flow, Anusha?
Um, I feel I can do better, but it's much better than what it was, right? If I've just raised from 0 to 10, if I was at 1, now I'm at 6. I need to
Nice.
do better, but 0 to 1 to 6 is a big shift, right? From 6 to now, it's going to be slow incremental to get to my goal, but that has been a big shift, right? And the reason why it's not faster is uh because I feel like I still need to work on my sleep, right? I would like, right now, there are days when I feel very tired in the morning, but I'm not as tired as I used to be, right?
Mm.
But I feel like I need to do better job of sleeping. It's not about getting up in the morning. I'm eating less because now, earlier I thought I will also go cold turkey on caffeine. But now till 10 o'clock, if I need to drink 3 cups of coffee, not coffee, chai, like without
Mm.
milk, like a black tea, I indulge. I rather indulge in black tea than to eat something. So I feel like those are the
Nice.
choices I've made, right? But I would like to get to a spot where I don't even need this tea. Like 1 glass of tea is fine, but not like 2 or 3 or 4 cups of tea. And going to work is actually helping me because
Mm.
morning I drink a glass of tea. I do not drink tea at work. At work, there's no distractions of eating anything. So those 3 days, actually, I'm doing much better. Like today I was in the office, so I'm much better today.
Nice. So you're very self-aware, Anusha. I think that is something that I really have to call out. You came in with a lot of self-awareness. The question was how to bridge that awareness and make the actions happen, right?
Yeah.
So you also learned a lot about your behaviors during the last 1 year that we have worked together. I can see you apply the concept of thinking along the continuum, right? Rather than
Yeah.
beating yourselves up and saying, "Hey, I'm drinking 3 chais," you're saying, "Hey, I'm drinking 3 chais, and it's much better than indulging in pastries or something else,"
Correct.
right? So nice work there, Nisha. Let's talk about hydration. How important was that for you and how did it help you?
Uh, I feel hydration was always important, and I feel like I did a decent job of hydration when coming before to you. Uh, but uh, right now I need to troubleshoot my way on how to hydrate myself because I've been going to the office 2 days a week, like in the last 2 weeks. The days I go to the office, I'm not hydrating myself well.
Mm.
So I need to fix something. I am troubleshooting. Maybe I need to buy a bottle, which I keep at work, which I need to, because before the pandemic, when I used to have a big water bottle
Mm.
in the office, like sipper in the office, which was like almost 1.5 liters. So in the morning, I fill that up. I will make sure that it's empty by the end of the day. So I need to think of doing something like that again, maybe perhaps, because when I come home, I'm very thirsty. I have a bottle in the office, but I have to go 5 times to go fill that bottle. It's not enough,
Okay. You
right?
need a
So
bigger bottle.
I think I need a, because I'm in between meetings and I'm like, oh, meeting Mochita will go. And then meeting goes after. Then I have lunchtime, which I drink. Like, I make sure I drink 2 glasses or 2 bottles of that water during lunchtime. And then I'm like, oh, I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty. I'm like, today I came very thirsty home. But at a given time, I'm not able to finish. Like, my husband can drink 1.5 liters of water in one go. I cannot. So I need to drink little by little throughout the day. So I
Got
need
it.
to troubleshoot myself for that. But I feel overall, having that water goal, uh, what I've noticed is all those practices which I have learned from you, if I practice that, all of them for 1 week, I lose 5 pounds that week. So the question
Nice.
is for me to make that a habit. And that's what I'm working on after this.
Super. Thanks for sharing that, Anusha. Now let's talk about the, I mean, our program is all about deep health, right? We look at not just physical health, but mental, emotional health as well. And I remember we captured your baseline when we talked first a year back. And let's go over that now, Anusha, with renewed perspective and renewed skills that you have under your belt and see where you are today. Okay, shall we do that?
Yeah.
So, physical domain, you had given yourself a rating of 1 a year back. Where are you today?
Physical domain means physical movement, right?
Movement, body composition, your energy levels, fitness, endurance.
Uh, I would say from 1, it's come to like 6 out of 10, which is also a lot, right? I'm more active. I rather, I'm more deliberate of being active versus earlier. I was a couch potato, right? Like now I'm like, okay, I should walk. I should go for a walk. I've eaten this. Maybe I should go for a walk. So yeah, I'm more deliberate about it. I was not, so which is a big shift.
And we also brought in a lot of consistency with your movement, right? The walks,
Correct.
from not
Yeah.
walking at all to now walking 4 to 5 times a week is a huge change, Anusha.
Yeah, and I at least walk like 3 to 4 kilometers every day, which is a lot, right? I used to not even walk a kilometer. From there to a 4 kilometers a day, like rain or shine, winter, minus
Nice.
degree, whatever, right? I still walk. So yeah.
So you incorporated it as a habit, right?
Correct.
Awesome. So let's talk about mental domain, Anusha, in terms of mental alertness, focus, mindfulness, mental health. You were at a 4. Where are you today?
I feel I'm at an 8 or a 9, right?
Wow.
Yeah, I feel
Nice.
very, yeah, I feel very, I'm in a very happy, safe mind zone right now. Yeah.
Super. And how about emotional domain in terms of ability to manage your stress, regulating your emotions? You were at a 1, Anusha. I think that was really at
Yeah,
a
I
very,
think,
very low point back then.
yes,
Where are you today?
I would say like 8 or a 9. I'm very emotionally,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is huge, right?
Yeah.
In terms of your relational domain, you were at a 7 or an 8 when we spoke last. Where are you today?
I would say I'm like 9, 10 around relationship to me. Yeah.
And environmental domain, you're always a 9 or a 10, even back then. And would you
Correct.
say it's the same now?
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah.
And existential domain, you were at a 9 when we started, in terms of leading a life, fulfilling life of value, purpose, and meaning. How do you feel today?
Yeah, I feel 9, 10. I feel the same there. Yeah.
Nice. So another important thing that I want to ask you, Anusha, is with respect to your work, right? You used to be this person who was totally dedicated towards work, constantly working, not prioritizing yourself, right? And somewhere along the line, we started practicing the skill of drawing boundaries, saying no, right? How important was that, and what impact outcome did you notice from doing that at work?
Um, I think it I had more manageable. Excuse me. I think I was running. I was trying to catch up a lost time or whatever, right? Because I started my career a little late in the US because I could not work. But yes, last year I feel like I hit a milestone which I wanted to hit, because after that I felt like it's all game of chance and blah blah blah. So I feel after that, saying no, learning your skills became easy and fulfilling, and not being afraid. So, and also getting confidence about my skill set, what I'm learning, right? So all in all, being able, I feel like I was able with the coaching and the skills that we learned through this whole program, did not make me feel guilty if I had to say no. Right? That was a big thing. Or I think guilty is not the right word. I would say insecure, right? You put on these things because of, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not, because I'm not secured to say no. So I feel like hitting that milestone along with this program helped remove some of the lot of my insecurities.
Wow, that's very, very interesting and really big milestone, Anusha. I'm curious, what used to be the narrative before, and what is your narrative now, if you were to say no?
Uh, I think earlier also I would have said no, but I was trying to chase this career milestone of mine, right? That I really wanted to, I don't know for what, like after accomplishing it, I'm like, why was I running behind it? But I was trying to run and accomplish a milestone, which I don't know if now that I reflect back, I don't even know if it's a milestone, right? So, and after I attained that, now I'm like, what, there's always next, there's always something next. And so I had to pause, reflect through this program. A lot of like journaling helped reflect, right? So one of the skills that I learned here. So I guess one of the reflections I had is, what am I running? Why am I running so fast? Like, what is my end game? And I don't have an answer for that, right? So rather, the reflection which came was like, I see myself as Ani and Ahana's mom versus working at this company. That's how I see myself. I don't define success of what my professional life is. So then, all that helped me put things in perspective on what is most important for me.
Wow, that is huge. So basically, you were able to self-reflect and see what you hold as your top value, what are your top
Correct.
priorities, and chasing those versus what you did not prioritize, right? So
Correct.
it brought a lot of clarity, right? Taking a step back, pausing, thinking, helped you understand what is it that you need to focus on, and then
Correct.
saying no came easy. Was that right, Anusha?
Correct. Exactly.
Super. Thank you so much for sharing that. And what was an aha moment for you while you were working on your transformation, Anusha?
I told you, I think the aha moment overall of the transformation was I can be
Confidence.
consistent.
Yeah.
Confidence, right?
Confidence
Like,
and self-belief.
yeah, like, if you meet me socially, you would be like, oh, Anusha is a very confident person, right? But the inner confidence, I did not have the inner confidence for myself, that uh, like through being consistent through my de-stress activity, my 5-minute action. I, Actually, there are a lot of things I've done through this program which I'm very consistent. Like, I'm very consistent with journaling, I'm consistent with, I can go on the skills I'm consistent with, which is like,
Wow.
yeah, you can actually lose weight, you can actually do this. You are just stressing and creating excuses. Now I have no excuses. Like, I've run out of all the excuses, right? Because I think that's the biggest important thing. I had like 1,000 excuses, and now we have gone through every excuse, and we have basically taken. There's no more curtains I can hide behind.
Nice. Wow. Thanks for sharing that, Anusha. So that's very interesting. So from showing up consistently, you don't have any more excuses to say, hey, you know what, I can't do this. You've shown to
Correct.
yourself that it is possible, right?
Correct.
Nice. Um, please share your feedback about coaching experience in terms of accountability, guidance, support. How important or helpful was that for you, Anusha?
Uh, as I said, right, like I had a friend who I could talk to and tell her, I don't know what to do about this. I don't know. I didn't do this. Uh, I think there's a lot of times when I came as whining to you, and you're like, okay, you never told me stop whining. You're like, okay, how about we focus on these things, right? Like, how about we focus on the positives? Let's focus. Uh, I feel that really, as I told you, I used to, after some time, I'm like, she's telling me to troubleshoot. Next week, I'm not going to have this. Just basically proactively troubleshoot. I do it at work. Why don't I do this? Right. So the coaching helped me build that bridge on like, I do it at work, but I don't do it for myself. I do it for my children, but I don't do it for myself. So the coaching helped me build bridges. The coaching also helped me, like, fine, everything is lost, but Srividya will definitely ask me these questions. Now, what am I going to say for those? Am I going to so I feel like that's become a part of me now, right? Like, okay, you're telling all, you did not do this because of these excuses. So what are you going to do better tomorrow? What are you going to change, right? That's your coaching, right? So that is something which I do that for work, but I don't know why I never did it for myself, right? For my inner self. So that is something which is a big transformational change in my mindset. I think the biggest thing about all your coaching, everything is changing my mindset, right? They say everything lies in your mind, right? Your mind is either a bane of all the things that cannot happen, or it is a boon of all the possibilities, right? So you have got the positive change and like, yeah, there is a possibility. There are a lot of times I'm like, okay, what would Srividya say for this? Right. So that's your coaching, I guess.
Wow. Thank you, Anusha. You unlocked your own potential. I mean, you were capable. You had the strengths, you had the skills, you just needed to apply it in your personal life. Right.
Correct.
And it's a very, very important skill that you've learned, which is reflecting every day on your skill sets and seeing how you can do it better the next day with a growth mindset.
Yes.
Really an amazing transformation there. Very inspiring, Anusha. I would love to hear your feedback about me as your coach personally. Like, what was the best part about me as your coach?
Uh, there are many things. One thing, like, you're very non-judgmental, right? I think that's very important. You were very, like, you taught me, you're always very positive, and you also taught me how to be positive, right? I think, how to be positive for myself. So that, you know, like, you there are a lot of things, like, now that I reflect back, whatever you said, we all know it, right? It's not that you're teaching like, be positive, look at the brighter side, the poga poga seri item, you continue, you'll be fine, right? We all hear this. It's not that these are new words you have invented, but you have helped us apply to our life situation, to our where we are, not being this philosophical poga poga seriyanam panindere ella seriyanam ella nalluduke. You're right, people say this, but it's like these are words you hear from distance, like, oh, this does not apply to me, they don't know what situation I am in. You apply those words, but into my situation, into my this thing that made me reflect. I think that's your superpower.
Wow. Thank you, Anusha. So, meeting you where you're at, right? And
Yeah.
helping you internalize those skill sets and helping you see for yourself the outcomes it can create for you. right?
Correct.
And most importantly, mindset coaching was very important because you could see how the actions kind of came out seamlessly when you started shifting that narrative that you had in your
Correct.
head, right?
Correct.
Super. So, Anusha, I definitely have to call out your commitment. It's not been an easy thing at all. The last 1 year has been extremely challenging. I've been through so many career-related challenges, at home, personally, breaks, some breaks that had to happen, and you still bounce back with your resilience and your mental strength. And I really appreciate no matter what you showed up for these calls, Anusha. I think that is big. Even if you did not show up for the last couple of weeks, you would still show up and say, hey, this is what happened, Sri Vidya. And I really appreciate that open communication and honesty in you, which has helped me understand what is going on and helped us put our heads together and troubleshoot. So thank you for an amazing journey the last 1 year, and you have a tremendous capability to inspire other women, Anusha, because I'm sure everybody can relate to those problems of stress eating, binge eating, emotional eating, and not prioritizing oneself. So what would you say for the women, who are hesitating to make this change for themselves?
Uh, the only thing I would tell them is, for women, because you asked for women specifically, you know, it's that, we deprioritize ourselves because we are the mom, but, we should always think from the lens of I'm going to give you an analogy, and the aeroplane analogy, right? They always say the adult needs to put the mask first before we put that for a child. So if you want your family to stay happy, you need to be the most healthiest person for them, right? Because the family runs because of you. So I think that's the pitch on how to prioritize yourself. I think that was a big decision-making point for me too, right? Like, I always tell people, even when my kids are young, I ate first before I fed my children, because I did not have patience when I was hungry feeding them. So same thing, if you need to stay healthy, and you need to prioritize yourself for your family, for your family's emotional health, for your family's well-being, for your family's good health, everything, right? Like, you need to stay healthy, and so prioritize yourself.
Thank you so much for that, Anusha. It's been a wonderful 1 year journey. And you can always come back if you feel like, hey, you know what, I'm practicing these skills, I need help. Absolutely possible. My doors are open. Anytime you can shoot me
Thank
a
you.
message. I would love to hear an update from you also from time to time. So please stay in
Yes,
touch, Anusha, and best wishes to you.
absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.